So yeah, just again, this is going to be Hey, it's G-Man doing Super Mario Odyssey World Peace Percent with commentator MeWe, and y'all can go ahead and take it away.
Alright, so yeah, I'm G-Man. I am joined by MeWe, and we're going to be doing the World Peace category for Super Mario Odyssey. And this category basically involves completing the last story mission in every level or kingdom in this game. So it's going to consist of, defeating all bosses, collecting certain moons.
Yeah, and the reason it's called World Peace is because there's an achievement you get after you beat the game called World Peace for doing this specifically. So that's why it's called World Peace. And
yeah, one thing before the run starts is that I'm on the Chinese language of the game. This is because Chinese is about 15 seconds faster than English due to shorter text boxes and faster text scrollings. And I think that'll be it for the introduction. We're just going to get started right away. I'll count down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so basically the plot of this game, we skip all the cutscenes, or at least as much as we can. Bowser wants to marry Peach, and he knocks Mario out, knocks him into the Cap Kingdom, where he meets Cappy, this hat guy, and you can throw Cappy and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Cappy allows for a lot of the movement in this game, starting off with the spin pound, spin jump, and a ground pound. Then you can roll. Rolling is what we're going to see a lot of. It's the fastest movement on the ground.
So yeah, you can see right now what I'm doing is I'm rolling with Mario. Each roll is a motion control shake with my controller. So every time you see yellow sparks coming out, that's him rolling, and that's me shaking the controller every time.
Yeah. And spin pounds can vary in speed. Like, you can get a fast spin pound or a slow spin pound. And getting good at spin pounds actually kind of adds up the course of the game.
Spin pounds are just me spin jumping really quickly and then ground pounding as soon as possible. So that's me doing a spin pound just now. It's really hard to see, but basically I'm doing a spin pound and then instantly ground pounding and starting a roll. It's faster because you get your first power roll right away.
Yeah, and the main gimmick of Cappy in this game actually is you can actually capture enemies. You can become different creatures in this game. You can become a frog going up on
we're gonna see a bunch of captures as we go along the rest of these kingdoms. This is our first mini boss here. He's Topper. Obviously we're gonna defeat him in about 10 seconds as we just did. He's a really easy boss.
I don't think we even mentioned it, but you just did left side, which is the first
so
big
as
trick
I was climbing the cap tower, I was doing a trick called the left side. Normally, to climb that cap tower, you have to go about the right side, and you would have to roll up a hill. But you can climb up the left side, and it saves about 2 seconds over rolling up the hill on the right side.
Yeah, so that's Cap Kingdom.
So yeah,
we're gonna be going
Sorry.
into Cascade. No, you're okay. So yeah, we go through 16 different kingdoms. It's the first one. Going to Cascade.
I believe there's 14, I thought.
Oh, 14. I got mixed up with a different number.
This is our second capture. We're going to capture this chain chomp. That's going to break this rock. And we're going to get our first power moon. That's what the name is literally called. Our first power moon. And so we're going to be collecting a lot of these power moons, as we'll see. If you can see on the top right, one just ticked. Top left. There was one that just ticked into one of the circles. And there's 5 circles, which means we're going to have to collect 5 moons in this kingdom. Each kingdom has a varying amount of moons that we need to collect. In the next kingdom, we're going to need to collect 16 moons. But here we only have to collect 5. So right now, we're gonna do another trick. This is called Dino Skip. Basically, we're gonna go up to this cliff, capture this dino, and we are going to go down here. Normally, you'd have to go through that wall on the right, but we can use this dino to bounce on the trampoline and then go to the boss fight straight away without having to go to the wall on the right and then enter the 2D section. It saves about a minute, and it's really easy.
Yeah. Second fight, Madam Brood. It's something really cool about this game. The developers put like intentional ways to go faster in the fight. Like you can jump on top of the chain chomp to stop it from going outwards and being pulled back in. It's pretty much on every fight in the game that they did that.
So yeah, that's Madam
Makes it
Brood.
more
She's already done. Pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so as you'll see, this is not just a typical power moon. We're actually going to get a multi-moon. Certain bosses and certain story missions will give you multi-moons, which are 3 moons instead of 1. So multi-moons count as 3 moons, which means we're going to have 4 moons out of this boss fight, and we're going to need 1 more. So after all these cutscenes end, we're just going to get 1 more power moon right next to us. And then we'll be ready to leave this level. So just going to do some mashing right here. There's a lot of text mashing in this game.
Yeah, you think we can have a donation or two during the globe stuff? Or is it too late for that? I think we can wait until after Harriet,
Yeah,
I'd say.
we'll do that.
It's a good time for donation.
Once you're done with every kingdom, you have to go to this ship right here. The ship is called the Odyssey, and you have to hit the globe with Cappy. That's going to deposit your moons to the Odyssey, and that's going to allow you to leave to the next kingdom. So since we have 5 moons, we hit the globe with Cappy, and we're ready to go to the next kingdom. So this next kingdom is the Sand Kingdom, and as the name says, there's a lot of sand. It's basically the desert theme kingdom of the game. So we're just gonna go through some text here.
Yeah, and in this kingdom, in order to get world peace, you're actually supposed to get like 2 more moons than we do in this run. And you actually have to get 1 story moon, then get the next to open the door to the inverted pyramid. But we're gonna do a little trick.
Yeah, we're gonna do a trick. We'll see it later. Basically, what I said by the definition of this run is that we have to complete the last story mission in every kingdom, but that does not mean we have to do every story mission in the kingdom. There are 2 kingdoms where we can actually skip story missions and still achieve world peace in the kingdom, and this is one of these kingdoms. So we're just gonna get some quick moons before we do the story mission. We're gonna go up this icicle and up this archway. Notice the movement that I'm doing is called cat bouncing. Basically, when you're on the ground, you're able to dive onto Cappy once in midair. You can't do this infinite times. Obviously, that would break the game.
We could just go on top of places, like get infinite height. That would be doing Dram strat.
Yeah, so that strat I did after the alcove moon was called Dram strat. Basically, if you place Cappy in a certain spot right next to a capture, then when you collect a moon and then you home Cappy into the capture, then you'll just capture that thing right away after the moon. Also,
yeah,
that's inverted pyramid clip.
Yeah, Cappy actually says the dialogue doesn't seem like you can brute force that, but you can.
So yeah, what we did there was called inverted pyramid clip. Normally, you're supposed to collect 2 extra story moons in order for that door to open and in order for you to enter the inverted pyramid the normal way. But what we did there was called inverted pyramid clip. The technique is called a roll cancel clip. Basically, if you roll cancel into a wall with a certain angle, then for some reason the game will just let you straight into the wall. It's not exactly sure why the game lets you into the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, we use this to our advantage to save multiple minutes over getting all the other story moons.
Yeah, roll cancels are a weird mechanic. You just like I think the game thinks you're ending the roll with a long jump, but then you do a cap throw really quick,
Yeah.
and then it ends it with a cap throw jump, or just a cap throw. Yeah.
This is
It's
our
a
second
tech.
mini boss of the run. Her name is Harriet, and basically what we have to do is we have to throw these bombs at her. It's really easy. We just have to do that 2 more times.
Yeah. The bunnies are wedding assistants. They set up the
Wedding
wedding.
planners, yeah.
Wedding planners. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. And Bowser hired them, pretty much. And we're gonna fight. Are we gonna fight all of them? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
We
I
actually
was
fight.
thinking.
We fight 2 of them. We fight 3 of them 2 times.
Yeah. I was thinking about how you can skip Rango the second time, but you do fight him once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have any time for donations? Real quick.
Yeah. There's
No donations right now. So, but do remember we do have
Okay.
plenty of bid wars and stuff still open for tomorrow's runs. You can hit !open bid wars to see what those are.
Okay.
All right. So unfortunately, you can't skip. There's like a really large cutscene that the pyramid is gonna rise out of the floor. Can't skip that. We can skip this though. Real quick cutscene. And what we're going to do after all this text is, if you notice, after one of the moons I grabbed, I got this checkpoint. And this game has a system where if you get certain checkpoints within the kingdom, then you could simply fast travel to them by pressing the minus button and then warping to whichever checkpoint that you got. So we use that to warp here, get a few quick moons in Night Sand. Going to use this bullet bill to break that rock. I'm going to do a little bit of bullet bill juggling here. So I'm going to spawn this bullet bill, and then at the same time use that bullet bill to break the cage right there. Oh, I didn't break the cage. That's fine though. What I wanted to do is I wanted to break the cage with one bullet bill, and then use the bullet bill to travel across this quicksand. But I could just cap bounce over the quicksand. There's going to be some mummies here. We just jump across them. And there's the shiny spot. What we do is we just ground pound there. Spin pounds, and we could use spin pounds for rolling, but spin pounds are also used instead of ground pounds because ground pounds are really slow. They take you a while to, actually fully land on the floor. So we use spin pounds instead, and it does the same thing. It just gets you to the floor way faster.
Yeah. Going through the underground ice cave section. Just some schmoovin' with Mario. We're gonna fight Knuckle-Tech.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Knuckle-Tech. And he has the multi-moon at the end of this kingdom. Which will bring peace to the kingdom.
So yeah, once we fight this boss, that'll
nice.
bring peace to the kingdom, and we'll be able to leave. We route out this game so that we have the minimum amount of moons to leave. So once we defeat this boss, we'll have 3 more moons, and then we'll be ready to leave.
Yeah.
The thing with this game, though, is that there's many more moons that you could collect. I believe there's 89 moons in sand. But you'd only need 16 to actually leave the kingdom. So we route it out so that we get just enough fast moons, and we completely ignore all the slow moons. And so yeah, this is Knuckle-Tech. I already completed the first phase, but basically the goal of this fight is just to capture one of his hands and then shoot it right in his face. Kind of fun. So that's phase 2. In between phases, there's not really much you could do to save time, so I'm just trying to avoid his hands, not trying to take damage.
I think if you go close to him, he actually moves to the center faster. Like if you go to the edge. But I don't know if you know that. But I think that's what top runners do.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, and also if you notice, he can only, the hand only gets stunned if the hand lands on the ice. So what I'm doing is I'm putting Mario on the ice and then moving him away really quickly, so that the hand gets stuck on the ice and then I don't take damage. So we're just gonna get that multi-moon once we're done, and we'll be able to leave Sand Kingdom. So just gotta mash through a little bit more text, and the next kingdom that we're gonna do is the Lake Kingdom. The Lake Kingdom is a way shorter kingdom. You only need about you only need 8 moons to leave the kingdom. So there's one story mission in Lake. It's gonna be a multi-moon, which means that we're only gonna need 5 other moons in order to leave.
Yeah.
So just gonna mash through this text here.
There's a faster route, but that you can do using a trick called lake clip, but it's not RTA viable because it only saves 1 second, and it's really hard to do right. So yeah, like most of the time you'll just lose time.
So, talking about more of the story in this game, in Sand, what Bowser was trying to do is he was trying to get a ring for Peach. In every kingdom, he's trying to get a certain material for his wedding. So,
Yeah,
in Bowser, he was trying to get a ring, and in this kingdom, he's trying to get a dress. So, obviously, we're not going to let him do that. Gonna get a few quick moons. Gonna capture this zipper. We're gonna zip around the rectangle. That's going to open up this area, and that's going to lead us to get this moon. I'm going to capture the Cheep Cheep. This kingdom has a capture. The Cheep Cheep, it allows you to swim in water very efficiently without running out of breath, and we also go really fast by boosting with the fish. By pressing both Y and B at the same time, you can boost with the fish, gives it a little bit more speed. So it's a really efficient way to swim through the water. So now we're going to meet our third boss, third mini boss. This is Rango. Arguably he's the easiest because you could cheese him by landing on him right as he gets out of his hat by doing some backflips and some ground pound jumps. And there he's already dead. These bosses go by pretty quickly, especially these mini bosses. And just like that, we got this multi-moon, and we're able to leave Lake Kingdom. The next kingdom will be a little bit longer. It's going to be the Wooded Kingdom. We're going to need 16 moons again in order to leave, but unfortunately there are no story missions that we could skip as of now. So we're just going to have to do it the intended way. But there are still some very cool tricks that I'm going to try to do in Wooded. So, just gonna do some more mashing here. It's kind of hard to think of stuff to say while you're mashing, but once we get to the gameplay, it'll get more interesting.
Yeah. You're gonna attempt gate skip, right?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Gonna go for that? Alright. There's actually a trick in this game called a moon clip, where basically if you if you do a backflip or a side flip or a triple jump, and then you cap throw while Mario's upside down, Mario will get pushed to the side, and if that happens while he's next to a moon, he will actually get pushed into the wall. But since he's getting pushed at the same time he collects the moon, when you're in the moon animation, there's no collision on anything, so you can go through a wall. Gonna
I think I
try
got
that.
the clip. All right, nice. Let me focus. I missed it. Okay. So you got to see a little bit of out of bounds movement, but I didn't get the full skip. What I was supposed to do is while I was out of bounds, I was supposed to do some cat bounces and then make our way to where I would be right here. But
Yeah, we're
unfortunately,
gonna see that again later on. A moon clip, but yeah, did successfully get out of bounds.
yeah, I did get the out of bounds clip. That I guess that counts.
Yeah,
Just gonna get a few more quick moves. This capture is the uproot. Probably one of my favorite captures because you could just move with him super swiftly. And he also extends really fast if you shake the controller. There's a lot of things that you could do, like for example, sometimes I do what's called a spin throw. It allows you to move Cappy quicker and to capture certain stuff quicker. And every time I spin
yeah,
throw, I have to shake my controller to the side. Also, we have
yeah.
another trick here. This is Flower Road Skip, so let me focus. Let me do it again. Alright, got it. So what you were supposed to do there was you were supposed to use the P-switch, and it would spawn a flower road, and that would allow you to cross the gap. We could skip the flower road. We can also do another skip right here. This is tower skip.
There's a tower. You're
There's a
supposed to
tower,
climb through
and
it.
you skip it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a tower that you're supposed to climb. If you saw in like the right side, there was an entrance. You're supposed to go there, use the uproots to climb up the tower, and then exit to beat this boss. But we could skip it just with Mario's cat bounces. And that's Speedward. Obviously, couldn't really talk much about him because we just defeated him, but yeah. And that's going to give us this multi-moon right here. We're not done with this kingdom yet. Obviously, we still have 6 moons, and we have one more story mission that we're going to do. We're going to go into a boss called Torque Drift, and we're going to use the uproot to try to move very fast and try to get these phases as fast as possible. But we have to get some more moons.
yeah. Gonna be finishing off Peace in this kingdom by beating Torque Drift.
I'm just going to climb up here. Oh, I missed my cap dive. Sometimes this game has a stupid mechanic called cap dives. This game has a stupid mechanic called valor dives, where sometimes if you hold a certain angle, then Mario will just like not dive onto Cappy directly, and you'll end up doing what's called a valor dive, which is just like diving to the side of where you want to dive on Cappy.
I think it happens because of a similar reason to Moon Clips, because it's like the weird state Mario's in after he does a triple jump, side flip, or back flip. I think.
Yeah, that would make sense. Alright, so now we capture this tank here, and I'm going to try to hit all these targets. Wow, that was awful. Alright, there we go. I'm not good at first-person shooters, clearly. So, we got them. Gonna collect the story moon, and then once we collect the story moon, this is gonna allow this gate to open, and it's gonna allow us to enter Torque Drift. You'll notice that, I forgot to mention, but moons with longer animations, like the one I just got, those are story moons. And they're also very necessary, just as multi-moons are. to completing world peace.
Well, not always necessary if you
Oh,
can
yeah.
skip them. If you can skip them. It's...
Alright, so that wasn't actually a phase of torture, because that was just basically a tutorial for the boss. But now we're in the phase, so what we have to do for each phase is we have to destroy, there's like blue orbs inside the blocks, and we have to destroy all of them, and that's what allows us to kill Torchic every phase.
And something G-Man is doing that you may not be noticing, he's actually boosting off of the planter that the uproot spawns in, because if you time it right, you can get a ton of speed with the uproot by jumping over and over and repeatedly jumping, and it's faster than just walking.
Yeah, normally the uproot would be like really slow. Every time I would jump, you know, he wouldn't really gain the speed boost. But because I did the manipulation on the spawner that the uproot spawns on, he's able to jump way faster. You can see I'm getting like a way bigger speed boost every time I jump.
Yeah.
So just get this last orb and then get the last torture hit, and that'll be it for Wooded. Just gonna wait for him to die and then get this multi-moon.
Yeah.
So these next kingdoms are Cloud and Lost. Basically, how the story goes is that, so once we're done with this kingdom, we're gonna meet up with Bowser himself. We met up with Bowser's, you know, colleagues and, you know, his other friends. We're actually gonna meet
His
up with
buddies.
him in the Cloud Kingdom, and we're gonna sort of have a face-off in Cloud. And so once we're done with Cloud, he's gonna actually destroy the Odyssey, and he's gonna put us in this island called the Lost Kingdom. And so we're gonna try to get enough moons in the Lost Kingdom to repair the Odyssey and go back to our regularly scheduled journey. So in the Cloud Kingdom, there's not actually any moons that you have to collect. It's just a boss fight kingdom, basically. You don't have to collect any amount of moons. You just have to get to Bowser and then defeat him as fast as possible.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be doing a cycle skip. So normally you'd actually grab Bowser's hat, and then you would wait for him to jump around a few times, and then you'd punch him. But if you grab it while you're close to him, you can just punch him and skip that cycle. G-Man is doing in the first
yeah,
phase.
I'm about to do what he explained right now. I'm gonna like what I just did. I backflipped, and then while the hat is coming towards me, I throw Cappy, and then that is what allows me to grab the hat instantly.
Small little thing you may or may not notice, though. The reason why G-Man is going behind Bowser is because Bowser jumps to the opposite platform of Mario, and he has to jump for less time.
And also, I just did an intentional damage boost. That's because this game has a lot of iframes. This game has like 3 seconds of iframes, so we use that to our advantage by taking damage before we actually get the hat, which pretty much guarantees that we're not going to take damage when we actually try to get the hat. So yeah, this is the Lost Kingdom now. Obviously, the Odyssey is clearly broken, so we need to get 10 moons in this kingdom, and that'll repair the Odyssey. Can you explain Klepto?
Oh yeah, so Klepto is a little bird, wants to take Cappy. When we step into a certain area of the kingdom, Klepto takes away Cappy, and we have to go through the sequence where you have to get Cappy back. But if you do a strat called Meme Tree, which G-Man did at the beginning, you can actually avoid all of the Klepto triggers and just climb up here, get some moons, and then we're gonna go on the Klepto platform, so that way he doesn't take away Cappy when we go back to the trigger areas, and we can finish off the kingdom. This kingdom's really short. 10 moons in 2 minutes.
Yeah, so what I just did there was, for some reason, if you don't trigger Klepto at the beginning, and then you go right next to Klepto, he will not trigger you for the entirety of this kingdom.
Mm.
Also, this is reverse torpedo, if I can get it. Okay, I got it, nice. So,
You do reverse torpedo?
yeah.
That's cool.
So what I did
yeah.
there was I threw Cappy on that creature, it's the torpedo, and I grabbed the moon fast enough to where after I grab the moon, the torpedo will shoot itself into the rock where the other moon is. And we use that to get 2 quick moons right there. And that's the end of Lost. So yeah, very quick kingdom, 10 moons, 2 minutes. Lots of fast-paced movement. And now we're going to be going to Metro. Metro is by far the longest kingdom in this run.
And Metro, big kingdom, used in most of the promotion for the game. It's a big city. It's going to be bright and lively. Right? That's how Metro is.
But no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we enter the kingdom, it's actually nighttime, and it's raining, and that's because there's this boss up here, and obviously when there's a boss, that means it's nighttime. Makes sense.
Yeah. That's how it works.
That's how it works, and then when we defeat the boss, it's daytime.
Yeah. That's how it was in Sand.
It was the opposite in Sand, right?
No.
It was daytime, and then it was nighttime, and then it was daytime again.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
So yeah, we're gonna try to get to that boss. You saw that was the Mecha Wiggler, and what we have to do is we have to climb the City Hall of this kingdom. So we're just gonna get a few quick moves before we enter the City Hall. And there's actually normally what you have to do is you have to complete this obstacle course with a bunch of poles. But we could skip this entire obstacle course of poles and elevators by just spamming A once we get to this pole right here. So if I just spam A, then I position myself in a spot where I can just... Oh, wow, okay. I missed the moon, let me just go back there. So yeah, I could just skip the entire obstacle course by positioning myself on that pole where the purple coin was.
Yeah.
If you notice, there are purple coins in this game, but we don't actually use it in this category. We use it in other categories for buying outfits, like all moons and 100%. But thankfully we don't need to collect any of those in this category.
Gonna go into the Mecha Wiggler. Gonna capture the tank like we did in Wooded earlier on. We have to shoot the little orbs. If you don't get all the orbs on the second cycle, it loses 30 seconds, and you get 3 cycles, which is really slow.
So yeah, the optimal route for this boss is 2 cycles. That first cycle that we did was mandatory. But we want to hit all of this boss's orbs on the second cycle.
And this boss is one of the few instances of RNG in this game. The pattern for the Mech Wiggler is actually random, so gonna hope for a good pattern.
That was actually a really good pattern. That was probably one of my best I could have done. Whoa, very quick Mech Wiggler, very quick 2 cycle. We take it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a good one.
And so yeah, once we're done with this Wiggler fight, we get the multi-moon, and now the kingdom is going to turn to day. So that's not the end of the story missions. We are going to have to... The story for this kingdom is that we want to pretty much bring a few musicians to unite for the festival. So we're going to try to talk to 4 musicians. We're going to try to get them to Pauline, Mayor Pauline.
Yeah,
and then they're gonna sing for us in the festival.
yeah, play the music. Kind of a banger though.
It is a banger. We'll get some
Yeah, kind
salad
of
pleases in the chat when the
for the
festival plays.
festival. And
Alright,
like,
so I'm gonna do a trick right here. This is scooter clip. That was scooter clip, and basically what you're supposed to do normally is you're supposed to capture the dude on the right of the racetrack, and that is you're able to control an RC car, and you're able to bring the RC car to where the moon is and collect the moon. But for some reason, the scooter has very big hitboxes, and it's just big enough to where if you tilt the controller to the direction where the moon is, then the hitbox will just barely extend to where the moon is, and then you're going to be able to collect the moon. So that was the first
yeah,
musician that we talked to. We're going to talk to 3 more.
was the
So
drummer.
yeah,
Yeah,
so now we're going to talk to the bassist here. But before that, we're just going to get this quick moon from the scrap of trash over there. And then we get to talk to the bassist. So the third musician that we're gonna get is the guitarist. So we're gonna go near the plaza section of the beginning of Metro. We're gonna go all the way back here, capture these poles. These poles, for some reason, when you flick, you get a ton of speed. So we want to use these poles as much as we can in this kingdom.
yeah. We're gonna go pole to pole. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So that's the third musician. For this last musician, he's actually going to be on one of the rooftops of these buildings. Thankfully, we can use our checkpoint warping system again to warp to this rooftop checkpoint and get to the musician quickly. So we're just going to get 2 more quick moons. I'm going to throw Cappy out here so that I can do what's called a Cap Vault. If you roll into Cappy while he's out, then you'll get what's called a vault, and you'll get a ton of speed and you'll get a ton of height. And we use that in this kingdom, and we also use it in the next kingdom to do a very precise jump. So yeah, now that we have all the 4 musicians united, there's actually a problem in the power of the city. So what we need to do is we actually need to go down to the sewers and solve the problem firsthand. So what we're going to do is we're going to capture that manhole, and that's going to allow us to enter the sewers very easily. And so there's a little obstacle course here in the sewers. We could just use Mario's triple jumps and cap jumps to make our way here. There's also 1 quick moon here in the back that we're going to get, just like that. And so once we're done with this obstacle course, we are going to enter this pipe, and all we have to do is just kill these 2 piranhas that are blocking the power source. And for some reason, when we kill these piranhas in the sewer, we get a story moon. And that's what's gonna allow us to, once we collect the story moon, the cage where the switch is closed, that cage is gonna open, and then once we hit that switch, that is gonna allow the power to turn back on. And is what's gonna allow the festival to begin.
Very interesting. You can see power moons all throughout the pipes, powering up the whole city. Yeah, she doesn't let Mario collect any of those. It would save time if we could, though.
Yeah. Imagine if we could just collect all those. That would actually be kind of sick.
Yeah. No, there's no way you can.
So yeah, we're just gonna talk to Pauline for a few text boxes, and then the festival will begin. Let's get some sour pleases in the chat for this banger of a song.
Yeah. Festival's just a big 2D section.
Yeah, so all we have to do
Go
is
through it
just
fast.
avoid these barrels and then enter all these sections as fast as possible.
Yeah, the whole festival is like a minute long, and it's all on a cycle that starts from after the cutscene skip. And so basically, how fast or slow, or if you mess up or don't, just like determines where all the barrels are throughout the whole festival.
Took
Doesn't
damage
really
to one
affect
of
us
the
much
barrels.
though.
So I'm going to try to be
Yeah.
a little bit cautious because this next section has a ton of barrels that I'm going to need to try to avoid. If you die at any point in this festival, you get taken back to the beginning of the festival, and it's a very long section, so it could lose you potential minutes if you die here. So I'm just going to play it really safe, not trying to hit any barrels. That's fine. And then once we're done, we just need to hit Donkey Kong, all those 4 question blocks. And that'll be it. We just talk to Pauline at the very end of the festival, and then get this last multi-moon. And that's going to be it for Metro Kingdom. It's also pretty interesting to note that the multi-moon theme in Metro is different than any other multi-moon theme. It's a pretty nice touch that they added. Kind of like it.
Yeah.
So this next kingdom is going to be very interesting. It's the only other kingdom that we can actually skip story missions in. We're actually going to skip 4 story missions in this kingdom. Normally you would have to collect 4 story moons, and then that's going to enable a door to do the race. There's actually a race at the end of the kingdom. But we can actually go to the race straight away by doing what we did in Wooded, the moon clip technique. So once I get there, I'm going to need a little bit of focus time. So initially when we enter snow, the kingdom's very dark. Common theme in this game. So the kingdom is very dark,
Yeah.
and it's very snowy. But we're not actually going to do anything outside at all. We're just going to enter the town section right away of this kingdom. The town is called Shiveria, and we're going to use this town section to get 3 moons. And then once we get peace in this kingdom, we are going to use the outside section to get the rest, because the outside will be way brighter, and it'll have more moons that we can collect. So we're going to bounce on this umbrella. Oh, I got another valley dive there, like I was saying in Wooded. So I'm going to need some focus time to get this moon clip here. I don't think I caught it. No, I didn't get it. That's fine though.
Yeah, there's a roll cancel clip you can do. Let's back it up. So.
Oh, I actually got it first try. That was actually really clean. Didn't get the moon clip, but I did get the roll cancel clip back up first try. Normally what you want to do is you want to, well, for the moon that I got, you want to clip into the wall, and then you can enter where I just entered right away. But the way I did it, I did a roll cancel clip like I did in Sand, and you can just enter the room that way and doesn't lose that much time.
Yeah, the roll cancel clip was actually the optimal way to do it until the moon clip was found, so...
So this story mission is actually very unique from the rest. We're actually going to do what's called a bound bowl race. So we're going to use this guy. He's the Shiverian, and we're going to capture him, and we're going to use him to complete the race as fast as possible. So we just need to get to this guy. He's going to initiate the race, and if we finish the race in first place, then we get our multi-moon.
Yeah, there's actually a lap skip you can do in this race, but it doesn't work for speedruns because you have to get first place in the race. And for some reason, when you do the lap skip, the game thinks you're in last. So,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
really weird.
faster in
So
like
this race has a timer. I'm gonna try to be getting around the 52 to 53 second time in this race. Hope I can get it. This first lap should hopefully be like a high 18 or low 19. So the key to this race is that you want to not land on, you want to land on all downhill slopes, and you don't want to land on any uphill slopes, because uphill slopes don't give you any speed, and downhill slopes give you a lot of speed.
Yeah, uphill slopes make you lose speed actually if you do them wrong.
Yeah, this is not not a good example.
And landing in the snow.
Yeah, landing in the
like
snow is not
off-road.
good too. Yeah, this race is not good, but as long as I get first place, I get the multi-moon. So it doesn't really matter how bad I do.
23-second lap. Is this your first playthrough?
Yeah, dude. Kind of
I got
speedrunning.
like, I think I got like a 59.
Yeah, ideally I want to get like a 53 or a 52, and that I got a 104. It's fine though. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
So obviously we finished that run. We got first place, and we were able to collect the multi-moon. So once we collect this multi-moon, we actually need to get a few more moons, and we're gonna get them all outside, because when you get peace in this kingdom, there's a lot more moons that are available outside, and there's going to be another instance of RNG shortly coming up. But for right now, I'm going to hit Cappy on this scarecrow. That's going to initiate a timer challenge. And we have to get this moon before the timer runs out. Timer challenges in this game require you to not have Cappy, which is a little bit of a bummer because obviously Cappy is cool, but we did it. We get Cappy after we get the moon. And then we get this bunny right here. So we're gonna go into that little pond. We're gonna do a little fishing minigame, and this fish is gonna bite a certain amount of times, and we want to get a good bite first try.
Yeah, it's RNG when the fish bites.
So I got a third bite there. A little bit suboptimal, but I believe the most bad bites he can give you are 10. So
I'm not sure if there's a limit. I
I think
remember
there is a
like
limit. I think it's 10.
I think Gannon got like 15 one time.
Also, this is a very precise jump that I'm about to do.
Snow dram. Doesn't have anything to do with the dram and sand.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
that's
called
Snowdram. Like I mentioned in Metro, we use this cat vault to get a bunch of height, a bunch of distance, and we use that to just barely get the moon there. Normally, the intended way to get that moon is you would actually beat the game, and then you would enter a painting, and you would use that painting to get onto the island right away. But you could actually get to that painting without beating the game.
nice
And
first try though.
yeah, I got it first try.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Loses 20 seconds if you miss it once, and 20 more for each time you miss. So it's kind of good you didn't mess it up.
Alright, so now we're in Seaside Kingdom, and there's going to be 4 story moons that we're going to have to collect, and 1 boss. So this first moon that we're going to get, we're just going to skip all these cutscenes, and we are going to capture this thing. This thing is called a Gushin, and the Gushin moves very fast and on the water. And so when you're in the air with the Gushin loses water very quickly. You need to replenish it very often. But what we're going to do is we are going to just barely cross one of these gaps with the Gushin and still leave a little bit of water. So I'm going to hit the switch. That's going to initiate. Oh, okay. So the Gushin fell. We're just going to bring him back up. And we're going to take him to the lighthouse here. This is where the second story moon is. Normally what you have to do to get up to this lighthouse is you would have to go through a cave. and use the cheat sheep to swim all the way through the cave. But by using the Gushen's speed, we can just barely
And
make
height.
it. Yeah. And while the Gushen is still alive, we're actually going to capture him and then make it all the way to the water. Gonna get 2 quick moons in the water. We use the Gushen because the Gushen moves very fast, but the Gushen can't move underwater. So what we have to do is we have to kill the Gushen, unfortunately, and then capture this cheap cheap to swim underwater for the rest of it. So we're gonna get that one from the little mound, and we're gonna get this one under Dory. And then we're actually gonna recapture this Gushen to grab another story moon. That's actually under this lava. But when you, like what I just did there, when you leave, when you grab pound the Gushen, it spews out a ton of water. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to completely erase the area of lava that I'm ground pounding through. And it allows me to go through the water and get that moon. So we're going to capture this Gushen one more time, get one more quick moon up on this cliff right here. The thing with discussion is that you have to land on a certain surface in order to get height. So what I did there was I landed on the Odyssey, and that allowed me to get more height. So the Gushen has a set amount of height that you can use, and if you land on a higher surface, then it'll increase your height more. So that's the last story moon that we collect before the boss. So once we hit this last switch on the boss, then the boss will spawn. And this boss has a very long name. Miwi, do you remember the name of this boss?
I think it's like Mollusk. Chancellor of Bubbling the Third? Or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember the whole name. I don't...
This guy's a full
It's a
title.
long name. Yeah. Like... I don't remember the exact name, but we just call him Bubbling. Or, no.
We just call him Mollusk. Yeah.
Mollusk, yeah.
So we just need to hit him 3 times. I did it the first time there. What I was trying to do is I was trying to get ahead of him so that I can do some boss manipulation to him quicker, but unfortunately I couldn't get ahead of him. So we're just going to do it the regular way. Gonna hit him the second time right here. And then we're going to go to this pool to replenish our water for the Gushen. And then we just got to hit him one more time. In the last phase, you could actually ground pound onto him straight away. So what I did was I just hit a little bit of water on him. And what that did is it stopped him from moving. And I just uncaptured the Gushen. And then ground pounded onto him and ended him like that. It's a nice little strat.
Yeah.
So that's Seaside. Another pretty fast kingdom. So now it's actually going to be a very pretty sunset. I wish this sunset was existed before the boss, but unfortunately we only get to see it for a few seconds before we have to leave the kingdom.
Yeah.
But now we're going to be going into the luncheon kingdom. For some reason, they decided to add a food-based kingdom to the game. I guess they were just very hungry.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of food-related achievements that we're going to try and get. This first trick that I'm actually going to do is called Salt Triple. And it's a triple jump that we're going to do on the very peak of a salt pile. and it's going to allow us to reach an area where we can grab a moon very easily. So right here after these cutscenes, I'm going to dive to the right and then do a triple jump right on the peak of that salt pile, wall jump, and then just make it onto where the moon is. So now we're going to go down here, avoid these Goombas, avoid these tomatoes, get this moon in the shadows. So now we're going to meet up with Spewart again. This is our first time refighting a boss. Obviously, we saw him in Wooded before, but now we're going to fight him again. Fortunately, he's the exact same as he was in Wooded. Absolutely no difference.
I think the developers thought that by making it a rectangle instead of a circle, it'd be harder. But like we do the cycle skips anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect
So normally
anything.
what would happen if you were a casual player and you were playing Spirit, he would try to he would make like a big path of poison that you would try to avoid. But because we're doing these skips, we hit him before he actually does any of the path. And so we never get to experience any difference. Alright, so after this, we're going to make it to the plaza section. We're not going to be there for too long. We're just going to grab 2 quick moons. Triple jump off the peg there. That's very precise, but got it. Then we're going to ground pound that shiny spot on the column, get that moon. Going to do some more cat bounces on the columns, and then hit this shiny crate. That's going to give some moon right here.
Then we're gonna get this second story moon and the cheese. The directions, the Panbro, the Panbro's pan's going is actually RNG, like just completely luck. So
got a very lucky cheese there.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like we said, the directions that the pans go are actually RNG. So I got lucky that the pans, for the most part, hit directly onto the cheese block where the lever was. So I just hit the lever block, uncapture, hit the lever, and then that allows me to get that story moon that I just got. So now this piece of land emerges. We're going to capture this capture, probably my favorite capture in the game. It's a lava bubble, and it allows you to swim through the lava. It allows you to swim through really fast. And we're going to use him a little bit later. Obviously, we only used him for a little bit there just to light the lantern. I'm going to do a big jump here from this mountain onto this little ledge. And then we're going to capture this fork here. And then we use this meat capture the bird that you saw up there, he's going to put the meat into the soup. And then we get a multi-moon. Not sure why the multi-moon is just there when the meat gets put into the soup.
Yeah.
But it's nice that we get a free multi-moon.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna collect some more moons leading up to the story. We're gonna fight this bird, Cockatiel, at the end of this kingdom.
So this is another timer challenge that we're gonna do. Just gonna wall jump up these blocks and then get that moon really quickly. You can explain everything about Cockatiel.
Well, I think we should wait a bit until we get there, but
oh yeah, maybe. Alright, so I'm just gonna
because there's still stuff before it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna get one more quick moon up in the mountains, and then we're gonna enter this cave here. When we're gonna enter this cave, we're gonna use that lava bubble again to traverse through. This lava bubble is gonna spawn on the side. If you shake the controller when you're in the lava bubble, then he'll do like a big dash. So every time I get like a little burst of air and speed, that's me shaking the controller. I'm gonna have to wait for this fountain cycle so I can just climb the fountain, and then light this lantern again with the pogo. The lava bubbles are also called polybos. They have 2 names.
Yeah.
And that spawns the story moon, and is gonna allow us to get through this door. For some reason, this door just does not work until you make this little bridge here to it. It seems pretty counterintuitive.
Yeah, couldn't you?
No, I don't think it works.
Yeah, that's. Well, I mean, even if you could enter the door, the boss wouldn't be there because you don't have the story.
Oh
mode.
yeah, that's true. Alright, so we just did a bunch of movement there to get to this cannon right here. This cannon is going to take us to the boss fight. The arena is actually the soup pot, and we're going to fight this bird.
So you can actually hit the bottom of this bird with the Podoboo to go into the phase where the bird spits out like vomits, like pink stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is weird, but
So I'm just gonna try to hit the bird's bottom again. Kids game, by the way.
I'm pretty sure if the bird goes right or left is RNG.
It's not RNG, depending on... So if I'm gonna go to the right here with the bubble, then the bird is gonna go to the left. So.
Oh, it's based off Mario's position.
Yeah, it's based off the position.
I didn't know that.
Now I'm just gonna complete this third phase. This third phase has a bunch of staggered lava pieces, but we managed to climb up anyway. And so once this bird dies, we're gonna get this moon, and that'll be it for luncheon. So very interesting kingdom, very weird story. Not really sure how to explain some of it.
Yeah. Then we're gonna go into Ruined. We meet up with Bowser again. And this time he has like a dragon that we have to fight. And the fight's actually kind of boring. It's like 2 minutes of auto-scrollers. It's basically an auto-scroller. Technically it's not, because you can hit there's stuff you do during the fight. But if we have any donations, this would be the place to do it.
Unfortunately, I do not have any donations that have come in. I do want to remind you, we do have bid wars open for the very first run of tomorrow, Fire Emblem Awakening. You have Name the Character and the Good and Bad ending, both still right for the taking. So feel free to get your donations in tonight for that run first thing tomorrow.
All right.
So yeah, now we're about to enter the Ruined Kingdom, as Mew explained. It's pretty much just another one of these boss fight kingdoms. There is technically a moon total that we have to get, but it's just the multi-moon that we're going to get after defeating the boss.
Yeah, if there was like any way we could get a moon other than this this multi-moon, well, we can actually get one moon before beating the boss. But if there was any way to get 2 other moons, we'd be able to skip the boss, and that's been theorized a little, but there's no actual.
So yeah, this boss, unfortunately, it's really cool. It's really cool in theory, because, you know, it's a big dragon, you know, he's shooting spikes, he's shooting balls of thunder. But unfortunately, all you have to do to defeat him is just climb on him, and then take off each of his chains, and then ground pound him.
Yeah.
For every phase, I actually do an intentional damage boost again, because I want to try to climb on him as early as possible. And thankfully, this arena actually gives you 4 free hearts that I'm going to spawn right now. Already got one. There's the 3rd one. So yeah, we're just going to use those hearts to heal ourselves after we damage boost. So that's the 2nd phase. We're just going to grab one of these hearts. Yeah, the movement that the dragon does is completely set. Like, I know exactly what he's going to do, where he's going to shoot. So there's completely predictable. So here's the third phase. He has a little bit more chains. And actually, if you were theoretically slow enough to where you actually don't hit the chains in time, you do have to do an extra cycle. But the game gives you a ton of time for every phase, so you basically never have to worry about doing that extra cycle.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened to me in a round.
Yeah. And also, if you do ever end up dying on one of the phases, then you do have to restart the level, restart the boss again. But because of the amount of hearts on the arena, it's very, very unlikely that you'll actually die.
Yeah. It's happened to me like once, I think.
Yeah, I think it's happened to me like once in the casual playthrough and then like once in a speedrun. So that's Ruin Kingdom. Like I said, we technically have a moon total, but it's just 3 moons that we get from the dragon. So once we get those moons, we're ready to leave, and we actually enter the second to last kingdom in the run. This is Bowser's Kingdom.
Yeah, we're gonna... This is Bowser's Kingdom. Bowser is the bad guy. And there's a bunch of story moons. Basically, well, when you play the game, like, it says this is pretty much the end, but it's actually not. And we're gonna fight Bowser at the end of this kingdom, but first we're gonna go through the different islands. Yeah, Bowser's the bad guy.
And so yeah, for some reason in this kingdom there is no actual moon total or no visible moon total. You need to collect 8 moons in the kingdom, but the game only tells you that after you beat the boss in this kingdom.
I think it's so it looks like it's the last kingdom of the game.
Sort of.
That could be it.
But yeah, we need to collect 8 moons, and there's 6 story moons, 6 required moons, which means that we're gonna get 2 other moons throughout the kingdom. So that was the first story moon. We just hit the ogre on the top of its head, and then it allows the story moon to spawn. The second story moon is going to involve getting 5 moon shards. So I'm just going to try to get these as fast as possible. There's a different route for the shards that I'm collecting. You can collect that second one that I got first. But you would have to do a very precise triple jump in the middle of it, and it saves about 2 seconds, but I don't do it because...
Yeah.
So for this last one, we're going to capture this bird. This bird is called the Pokio, and we're going to use it to poke the bomb into the box, and then grab the shard as it appears. Accidentally recaptured the Pokio. So that's the second moon. The third moon that we're going to be getting is this moon on the top right of the roof. This is not story moon. This is just one of the moons that we need to get in order to leave the kingdom.
Yeah, and after it, we're gonna refight Topper and Harriet from earlier.
So that was the strat that I did. That was Bowser Dram. Basically the same thing as the Dram in Sand Kingdom, where once I point Cappy at the wire as I collect the moon, and then when I home in with Cappy, I capture the wire after I get the moon.
Doing first-person Harriet strats, basically what we do is we point the camera at a certain spot as a visual cue, pretty much, and then we throw out our cap, and it's a good spot to hit the bomb, and we skip having to jump up and hit the bomb. It saves a few seconds. Pretty cool looking, actually.
So yeah, that's the Harriet refight that we just did. We're actually gonna refight Topper If you remember Topper all the way back in Cap Kingdom at the very beginning, we're going to fight him again. This time he has way more hats, and so he actually becomes pretty challenging, especially towards the end of the run. In his third phase, he has like 20 hats. But we still defeat him without taking damage. I don't even remember if I mentioned, but this game, when you take damage at any time, and then you collect the moon with that damage, the game will give you a very long damage refill cutscene. It's about 2 seconds while you're in the moon animation. So we always want to try to avoid taking damage as much as possible to avoid that long damage refill cutscene.
Yeah, the one exception is on multi-moons.
Yeah, on multi-moons, there's no damage refill cutscene.
Which is why we could take damage in Ruined, and also we took damage in Cloud because your damage like refills back to 3 after Cloud Kingdom.
I'm gonna go for a blind jump right here. For some reason, the camera doesn't turn around fully after you exit the pipe there. So what I have to do is I have to basically just go about that jump completely blind. I have to reset my camera in the middle of the jump, but I got it without dying, so that was pretty cool. So now we have the final boss of this kingdom coming up. Can you explain it? Because it's kind of hard for me to talk into it.
Okay, so for the Mecha Wiggler, you actually have to shoot bombs at its legs in order to knock it down, and then you go on top with the Pokio, and then you poke at each bubble individually, usually. You can actually skip the bird, and you can just climb up with Mario. And if you stay on top right and hit all of them, it saves a lot of time. I'm not sure how much it saves. It's like it didn't need to be timed really, so I don't think there's a comparison, but it's really fast. Going for target acquired.
Yeah.
This is alright. He's gonna do target acquired. He's gonna hit Harriet, and then do a really fast cap bounce and dive to hit Spirit at the end. If you fall off, it loses around 20 to 30 seconds. So there's a lot of risk in this fight, but G-Man pulling out the strats, the movement, the technique.
Yeah, that was a very clean mech fight. I got for the last brutal, that was a trick that he explained called target acquired, where when you get launched, you do very quick cap dives straight onto the bubble and then spin pound very fast. So I managed to get that. And yeah, falling off, like he said, does lose a lot of time, so it's very fortunate that I didn't fall off at any moment. Alright, so now we're at the final kingdom of the run, as soon as they deposit these moons. We're going to be heading into the Moon Kingdom. This is where Bowser is actually hosting his wedding. He's gotten all his materials, the ring, the dress, the food, the cake. And so once he's got all that, he is hosting his wedding on the moon for some reason. And so basically what we're going to do at the end of this game is we're just going to infiltrate his wedding completely. Because obviously Bowser is bad and we are good.
Bowser just invited Mario to the wedding in the first place. There would be no need to infiltrate.
I think we're infiltrating.
Yeah.
I don't remember the story entirely.
No, we are infiltrating. We're not supposed to be here.
Crashed the wedding. Yeah, Moon's an
interesting kingdom. We're going to take advantage of the low gravity that we get from the moon. So as you saw, Mario jumps way higher on the moon. And we're going to use that to our advantage for this big skip that's going to be coming up. Normally, when you're playing casually, there's this cave on the left that you could see there. We would usually have to enter that cave, but we're going to do a trick called the Moon Cave Skip by taking advantage of Mario's low gravity by just barely climbing up with the Sphinx. And then wall jumping there for the precise spot. And then we get to the wedding chapel without entering the moon cave at all, and it saves about 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, one of the biggest skips in this run.
Yeah, it's a very easy
It's
skip though, because the wall jump that you do, you have to wall jump in a spot, but the spot is pretty lenient. It's that big L, if you saw there on the wall.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, Bowser takes us to this underground in the moon, because he gets pretty mad that we infiltrated his wedding, and he takes us to this underground spot where we have to fight him. It's basically the same as the Cloud fight, except now he's going to be shooting fire in between phases. You might think that, as I took damage there, this fire, you might think that it's it's huge, it's a big barrier. It's literally like 1 pixel long. I can literally roll over this fire.
Yeah, you can roll over the fire. The hitbox is really low for some reason.
Hitbox is really low. Oh my god, I'm messing up. Alright.
Utilizing the same strats we did in Cloud Kingdom, not as successfully.
Yeah, I missed one of the fast cycles. Alright, so now we're going to be doing this last phase. I'm going to be at 1 hit, which is going to be kind of scary. But as long as I don't mess up, it should be fine. Like in Cloud, I did that intentional damage boost to get the hat without worrying about taking damage during getting the hat. So once I kill Bowser, we're going to be taken to this other underground section. And basically the goal is to capture Peach, but in order to do that, we actually have to capture Bowser. And we have to take Peach all the way to the end of this escape section.
Yeah, we have to escape the Moon Kingdom because everything's collapsing.
Yeah, everything is collapsing. You can see there's rocks, there's falling rocks. And in order to get through this, we have to use Bowser's swiping and fireballs.
I honestly don't entirely understand this section of the moon. Like,
I don't really get it either.
Why is there a bunch of blocks like underground? Yeah. Why is there a 2D section this low?
Yeah, this is a 2D section. I'm going to be doing a jump right here. I can jump right underneath the ledge there. That's a jump called 2D skip. It saves having to go around the long way. It saves about 2 seconds. Alright, so now we're going to be going into the last section of the run. Time's going to be coming up pretty soon. So, staff, just get the time ready. So we're just going to break this rock, and then once we break this rock, there's going to be this pillars section here. The goal is to shoot all 4 pillars and make that rock break in the middle. I'm going to be trying to hit this pillar as early as possible while trying to get the second pillar. Every time I'm using Bowser's Fireball, I'm shaking my controller. So we're just going to shoot this last pillar with the fireballs. Once I break this rock and then shoot out of the wire, time is going to end. So I'll let you know when that is. We'll get the countdown. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
Nice.
GG's.
So this was actually a pretty good run. 1:18.07 on my splits. This is only about 40 seconds behind my personal best. So pretty good for a marathon run. We'll take that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's gonna be it. We can watch this ending cutscene because it's actually pretty entertaining. Mario's gonna try to make out with Peach here. Their hats are actually reuniting. The original story of this was to bring Cappy back to Tiara, where Peach was, and now they're finally back. So it's pretty wholesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. So now we're gonna try to see if Mario can make out with Peach. Bowser is trying to interrupt by giving Peach some flowers. Mario finds a rocket flower. See who's gonna win the love battle. Peach straight up says no, and just denies both of them like a boss. Independent lady.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Mario Odyssey World Peace 11808.
Before the run actually ends, I'm gonna skip all these cutscenes and we're gonna talk to Toadette. So, in the post game, after I skip the credits, we're gonna teleport to the Mushroom Kingdom. And so once we go to the Mushroom Kingdom, we're gonna go in the castle. And in the castle, there's a list of achievements. And like maybe said at the beginning of the run, there's an achievement called World Peace. So I'm just gonna check. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty darn sure I got world peace, but just to check, I'm gonna go to the achievements list and see.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna skip these cutscenes, go through the mashing. So we just have to make it to that castle over there. In that castle, there's going to be Toadette, and then she's the one that is keeping track of the achievements that we get. In other categories, like All Moons and Darker Side, you would actually use Toadette to get... Every time you complete an achievement, you get achievement moons, and you use these achievement moons to get more moons for other categories. Obviously, we don't need these moons because once we beat the game, we don't do anything else. So yeah, this is the achievement. I have 14 out of 14, which means we have successfully got world peace in every kingdom.
All right.
So yeah, I think that'll be it from us.
Well, GG's again, thank you.
Yeah. So I stream on Twitch. I am on HeyitsGMan SR. If you want to go follow me, if you want to see some SMO content. Maybe might also stream later during the summer.
Yeah, I've been streaming recently, but I do usually stream. I also play this game. Yeah, twitch.tv/MiWi, MIWII. That's it for SMO though.